What happens in most cities like Abuja, where we are, is that estate developers are able to secure some expanse of land, hectares, some may say 40 hectares of land allocated to an individual. They just go all out to demarcate them into plots and begin to develop or begin to sell. Unfortunately, the relevant departments of the, for instance, FCTA may not have carried out a flood vulnerability mapping of those locations or flood inundation mapping. When such is done, you might discover that at the end of the day, where you are building or the estate you are developing is the pathway for flood, or the road for flood to pass, just as vehicles have the road they ply. What should the person do? The person can contact the Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency to help to carry out flood vulnerability mapping on that area, to demarcate, to delineate, and to tell you, in the event of flooding or rainfall any time in the year, these are the regions that flood will want to take as its own pathway to pass. So don't envisage any development within this sector. Most of the places will appear good, will appear dry, or for 5 years, 10 years, those places have been good. But when you do a proper flood inundation mapping or flood plain mapping, I equally call it a flood vulnerability mapping of the area, it will tell you, maybe you take for instance a certain amount of rainfall that maybe has 50 years return interval, 100 year return interval. Some can even use 1,000 year return interval to design. That will tell you that this amount of rainfall or this particular location, I am expecting that maybe in the next 20 years, this is what is going to likely happen here. It may not happen in 5 years' time. Like I think last year, a resident in Bobolada was saying that where his house was, that he had been living there for 24 years. That's what the person said when he was interviewed. Which means in 5 years, using 5-year return interval, 20-year return interval, nothing could happen in that place. But when you now work out for certain flood magnitude that could happen maybe once in 50 years, once in 30 years, you will discover that that location you are envisaging development will be covered by flood when that magnitude of flood comes. So you contact our agency, we can do flood plain mapping for you and do proper delineation, and also tell you the type of drainage we put to divert. Not that the entire extent will be covered by flood, no, but if you do proper delineation, it will tell you where to put your drainage system, what will be the size. By that, you will overcome any flood incident. What happens if you look at the one of Threadmore Estate or Michael Adewusi Police Estate? You will discover that flood was carrying people's vehicles. So if there had been a proper design, such places that you could have given the flood his own road, as we are giving people their way to put their own houses, you create one for the flood. When it comes, it will pass away, and then discharge itself into any nearby river or depression, natural depression, that passes away from there.